What we are fighting against are terrorist groups sponsored by states in the region and by foreign states that provide them with significant resources to regain the ground they have lost. So, we are not fighting against the young men in turbans who are facing us. These are proxy wars.
Yeah, the Malian Prime Minister, he was on state TV and was interviewed by the state television. So he was asked about the security situation in the country, in the AES at large, and then mainly in Algeria and Mali. Of course, he highlighted a lot of issues. I'm going to drop a video. Actually, this is the video.
We recently saw a major loss for Mali at the Algerian border. On that front, it has strained relations between Mali and Algeria. What exactly happened? Does this mean that somewhere there are terrorists hiding in the north who are coming to attack Mali? What happened for such a loss to occur?
There is no doubt about it. You mentioned we shouldn't try to interpret the attacks by attempting to deeply read into the specific events themselves. It's crucial to avoid making assumptions or drawing conclusions that are not explicitly supported by the available evidence. What situation are we in? What we are fighting against are terrorist groups sponsored by states in the region and by foreign states that provide them with significant resources to regain the ground they have lost. So, we are not fighting against the young men in turbans who are facing us. These are proxy wars.
So who are these sponsoring states?
Ukraine has openly admitted it, but we are not fooled. Ukraine itself is just a puzzle piece of a coalition of powers hiding behind Ukraine, including the complicity of states in the region.
And the states in the region, who are they?
Listen, on your set, I don't want to even mention it, but you talked about Algeria. We know recently even a Malian drone was shot down at the Algerian border. We know that armed groups, Malian terrorist groups, are in Algeria and come to attack us from there, then go back there. And that's what we've asked of Algeria, that it stop all support to these groups because relations between the two countries cannot be based on that. And this is not acceptable for our country. So, our internal problems are our internal problems, and if all of Europe, Mali also has the means to support groups in neighboring countries. And if we get caught up in that cycle, will we ever have peace?
Is that a threat?
No, it's not a threat. It's simply saying that if we want peace, as it says in the Bible or the Quran, you shouldn't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you.
So the neighbor hasn't been sincere enough in the relationship, let's say.
No. When it comes to neighbors, we need to move beyond duplicity and all those concepts. I believe we are neighbors. We are destined to live together. And we must not be the ones to destabilize countries or help those who pursue policies that divide our nations.
What interest Algeria has in destabilizing Mali?
That question should be asked to the Algerians.
Yeah, he was talking about the relations between Algeria and Mali and the state sponsors of terrorism. These people have been, he acknowledged that Ukraine openly said that it supports terrorism that is in Sahel. So we don't hide that. Ukraine is a state sponsor of terrorism, mainly in the Sahel, to destabilize them, because their major aim is to drive away Russia. And this is very impossible because Russia has established itself as a reliable partner more than the Western countries. I think you even see France itself wants to fight Russia because it wants to revenge the loss of these colonies. But I think as France, France is very weak, is one of the weakest countries. So you cannot fight a superpower like Russia. You have to combine yourself with other Europeans, with the help of America, because Europe cannot fight Russia without America's help. Yeah, that is it. That is truth. So this has been going on so far. And he talked about that if Algeria really wants to be a good neighbor, let them resolve the border issues, let them stop sponsoring terrorists, let them stop harboring terrorists, because the terrorists come from Algeria and launch attacks on Malian soil. From Algeria, so they use guerrilla war tactics. So if Algeria really wants to be a good friend or a good neighbor, let them re-engage and reintroduce their partnership with the AES on mutual benefit and shared relations. Not like this hypocritical way of doing things, which I hate so much, So those are the two major topics today, because we see them in a mixed signal, Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the new developments about the ECOWAS establishing a 26,000 military force, standby force, to combat terrorism, as they said. We are going to see what is the agenda, what is the main aim of creating that strong force. Is it against the AES? Of course, so we have to be cautious and we have to ask ourselves questions, because this military force is a threat to the AES sovereign states, because these states are still controlled. So if you establish such kind of a force, you have to be very, very cautious about the intentions of them creating such kind of a force. Thank you for being with us. This is Pillars of History. I'm very grateful to be with you.